Hello, footballers, and welcome to Tanks Invest. Talk about investing, finance, and professional development for today's citizens only. The investment talk today will be Ethereum ticker ETH. First, I want to say happy Saturday, everybody, for a great weekend so far. Respect to recording time of 9:27 a.m. on Eastern Time. Ethereum currently trading $2,929, up about 0.50% so far. With respect to overall crypto market, is trading on more of a sideways fashion today, especially on early this morning. It's kind of just normalizing us. Most of the East Coaster in the U.S. are waking up, while at the same time on the international side of the world, people slowly going back to sleep. Looking forward to a Sunday. So right now, just kind of normalizing on a sideways fashion. On a media front, it's not that much like substantive or news that have a huge market influence, which is typically logical. But we are kind of normalizing from a relatively volatile week, right? Ever since, just to keep tabs on, on within the Tuesday and Wednesday, we had that FOMC meeting, and with that anticipatory pressure, we heard a little bit more from Jerome Powell about the timing for quantitative tapering, right? Which is still to this day is inconclusive. We're gonna learn more about the specific time frame, about the tapering by the next FOMC meeting in November, based on Jerome. And on a high level forecast, or foreshadow, if you may, based on the timing of what Jerome said is logical, will be somewhere around like beginning of basically Q4 of this year, so late, like around like November to December to begin the tapering, or sometimes early in Q1 next year in 2022, and then it's going to durate until the mid of 2022. So something that we do not have a confirmatory signal from them, but obviously from that affectation subsequently reflect the U.S. dollars to go up, which spike temporarily. At the same time, have that anti-correlation effect to the overall crypto market and the stock market, subsequently drive the surge, and then normalize a little bit, right? And then subsequently on a Thursday or Friday, depending on where you are, I would say more specifically for me, at 6:30 a.m. on the Eastern time on Friday, so not too long ago, like a day ago, that we had the China, crackdown news with respect to the crypto crackdown, media application that got broke out on, basically globally, subsequently drive the whole sell-off across the board, right? And with respect to Bitcoin, it was down close to about 7% yesterday. Ethereum hit all the way to the level of identification, 2,750, and even below, right? We were basically going down to below to the 2,650. And I think I saw even some platform to hit close to even 2,600, specifically. So quite interesting, and subsequently got reversed back up. It seems like we're normalizing to back to the next level, right? But we are kind of just levitating at the moment. This is not really a substantive level if we have been talking about it. The next level is technically the 3,000, which is a hard level to crack, in a psychological perspective. But the real level again, right, the $3,150, right? So so that's a high level on basically what's have happened so far. So let's take a look at the news. News again, old news, but they call it news if you may, right? Decrypt 18 minutes ago talk about Bitcoin Ethereum recovers from China latest crypto crackdown. Um, recover. I would say this is more of a normalizing. The trend is still in the bearish sentiment. If we take a look at the chart, right, we are still within the head and shoulder pattern. So on top of the fact that technicals are not indicating anything of a reversal or recovery at the moment. So um, I guess what they mean by recovery is kind of bouncing from the 2,750, I guess, which is just public investors buying the dip, right? Is that really the recovery, or is that kind of misleading? I would say that's your judgment, but I think for me, I think that's a little bit more of a premature way of depicting the trends on a macro perspective. And then the next one is Bazinga 26 minutes ago. Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum sees buying opportunity after another China crackdown. Well, this is an interesting verbiage. Another China crackdown. I mean, we've heard this many times before, and I know some people even call this like a meme. like, oh, China crackdown. It's like the 7th, 10th time that's been occurring on the media front. So can we really take this serious this time? But seems like with respect to this crackdown, it is a little bit more comprehensive than the ones that we've had prior. So seems like, with respect to the, regulatory or compliance related type of procedures that these governments are trying to enforce, is becoming a little bit more comprehensive, obviously, as I mentioned, and a little bit more sophisticated to counter this growing, yes, yet very evolutionary type of sophistications of crypto assets going forward, right? Another one on the crypts, and this is not really a substantive one, it's more of an NFT related commercialization news. Talk about Axie Infinity has sold $2 billion worth of Ethereum NFTs. So another, reminder of how popular NFT is right now. The next one is on CNBC, again, my favorite news channel. Crypto plunges a wake up call and tax opportunity for investors. And what I mean by that is that when you are incurring some, losses in your, obviously, your portfolio, sometimes investors, by, as a form of a tax write-off, they will sell on a loss. So I think that's what they really mean. It was an opportunity for people to sell on a loss if, there were people that bought on the top, which I know a lot of people did based on how the chart is set up right now. But that's, up to your personal financial, situation, right? Do you want to write on a loss to counter some of your other side of the portfolio? That's truly up to your decisions. Um, the next one is 18 hours ago. I'm going like kind of far out now. China's crypto ban has almost achieved a meme-like status. So this is something that we have talked about earlier already in this video. It is, kind of 7 to 10 times of recurring type of related news. I think this is news that we've been percolating for the last at least half a year so far, right? And this is the reason why we drove these type of volatilities. China is definitely, in a global perspective, a lot of the whales come from there geographically. So asset holding wise, market supply power wise, the dynamics a little bit imbalanced globally. So with China being a communist country, can definitely, can stir some, reversal mixture around it. So something to know. I mean, meme like status, I could agree with that. So with respect to Bitcoin, let's take a look right now. So right now we are kind of floating again. We are not really at a substantive level comparable to Ethereum as well. The next level is really the 40,000 or either the 43 or 44,000. So again, we're hovering on a sideways fashion, just floating in the air right now. And there's no reversal trends yet. So I will still wait until the 40 because nothing is confirmed yet. Well, however, the RSI is at the 39.39, which is not a bad level. But you could probably wait until a better level. But again, don't be greedy. Buy at the logical level that you feel comfortable with, right? And I think right now the setup is okay, but it's not a good sign that is reversing yet. So maybe hold off until the 41, 40, like anywhere below 41 to 40 would be a pretty good level. Ethereum again, right, 2,750 is still the level that I bought at, recently I told you guys. So that's a good level, but in terms of are we gonna keep going back up? I think we're still within the negative pattern. There is no signs of reversal yet. We are at the 38.65, so it's not overly sold. So the bottom is imminent, I would say, because you cannot go way, way, way below, because that's just not possible, not logical either in the supply and demand dynamics perspective. Dogecoin. Dogecoin is not bad to buy. I think it's out of the two. I think Dogecoin is actually pretty interesting. Again, 20 cents is not a bad level. We're not really showing any signs of curvature of reversing yet, but we are fusing slowly together, and it's been a while since we crossed as well. On the 35, so 35 is not a bad level either. So yeah, why not? But Dogecoin is not a bad level in terms of a risk profile perspective. The next one is a Cardano. Cardano is about to cross So this is actually a relatively bullish sign, which makes sense. You could see that we've not crossed for a while, and we're slowly fusing together. The golden line is crossing the blue line, which is a golden cross. However, with respect to the RSI, we're at the 50 out of 70, so we're not going to leap up a lot. But we're going to be surging a little bit more, and this is just an early inning of the surge. So Cardano's not a bad level for short term, obviously, but because this is not confirmed yet. This could like cross up and then cross down because of the net cancelled out effects from RSI versus MACD. Solana. Solana is still not a good sign. This is definitely still a bearish trend. We're crossing down. We're still on a relatively neutral level in terms of buying RSI index perspective, 70 out of like 50 out of 70. So not a really good buy. I would still wait off until again the 113.96. I'll buy at the 66 to be honest with you. For me, if I'm a first time investor. Next one, 88 cents would be better for XRP as we come back down, which I think we should technically be because this is still a head and shoulder pattern. It's not as prominent as obviously the major coins, but still negative, and we're not showing any signs of reversal yet. Polkadot. Polkadot is very comparable to like Solana. I would not really touch it yet. The head and shoulder pattern is not as prominent. However, ours and also our side is still in the mid level at like 50 out of 70. So Polkadot again, the level will be $25 or $30. $30 or $25 for your $2 cost average will be the logical level because that's like a platform that we've been forming as well. Okay, so with respect to just like going back to the cheat sheet, we are still within the anger capitulation stage, and we're gonna see these type of sideways stuff, right? Oscillations up and down, up and down, up and down, right? And I think the bandage is gonna be relatively long for the market to rip us off. Does that make any sense? It's gonna take up anyway. It's gonna take some time to rip off the bandage, and it's gonna be slightly painful. But what I mean by painful is that you just have to be patient. You know, I think sometimes like you try to have that instant gratification or satisfaction about your investments, which good things takes time. It takes time to build value. It takes time to build financial assets. So and also you need to go through the market cycle as well, right? So to stay within the frame of reference, 3,000, 2,007, 2,450 for Ethereum. But if you bought in at 4,000, let's just say, just hold for a long term. Do not sell on a loss unless you want to do it for tax purposes. That's 3.3 times your money for the next 12 months, right? Or even higher, Me, I'm planning on holdings for the next 10 years, right? What's the rush? Are you looking to buy a car or like a nice jacket at the moment? Like it's not, just think long term. I think long term investing is always the way, right? So I really appreciate you. Hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend. I'm gonna head out. It's kind of getting cool in New York now, which is I don't know if I like it or not like it. I'm an active person, but when it's snowing, it's hard to like go walk everywhere or bike everywhere. But anyways, winter has this unique side as well. It is beauty as well. So, really appreciate you and stay tuned for this to come up. Take care.